Hello and welcome to one of Peter's amazing rants, because I have opinions and they should be heard, damn it. Today I'm going to be talking about nostalgia. Nostalgia is an iffy thing. It is one of the reasons we have so many sequels in the gaming community. Nostalgia is like a fine wine. It can be and should be enjoyed on occasion. Every once in a while, you should pour yourself a bottle, sit back and sip delicately, quietly, with the roar of the fireplace in the background. But drinking too much just makes you a damn alcoholic. So, with that being said, let's look into nostalgia. Why nostalgia is not necessarily the best thing ever. Why it can be good in certain cases, and how it's creating all these sequels, and why you should stop posting every other post on Facebook about your Pokemon. Alright, getting into this. Gaming culture. Gaming culture revolves around nostalgia, it seems like. We all know that Ocarina of Time is the best game ever. We all know that. N64 was an amazing platform. We all know this. We all know that Mario, oh, those were the days, indeed. And if you look on Reddit, or lots of other gaming sites, you always, or Reddit's honestly, R gaming, if you will, though it's always on the front page as well, you'll always see all these posts about, look at what I found in my basement. Look how awesome this is. And they're all, N64s or SNESs. And he'll always be like, remember this game? Or they'll talk about how great Mario was back in the day. And such. Now, there's nothing wrong with it, as I said before. Enjoying some nostalgia here and there with a big, busty woman is fine. Though you drink too much of it, and then you just have a problem. And going into it, let's look. First of all, I want to be clear again that nostalgia is not a bad thing. I want to make sure everyone knows that, because I know a lot of the comments are going to be filled with things such as, oh, you're just a hater. You're a hater. I enjoy my nostalgia. I do. Every once in a while, I'll bring up my Game Boy ROM and play, I don't know, some Pokemon. I'll play some Mario. It's fun. It's good times. I do play my roommate's N64 a lot. We play some Mario Kart. Always good times. So, yeah. And let me demonstrate a time when nostalgia's good. GTA. Everyone loves GTA. I have very many nostalgic feelings for GTA. I played GTA 2 as a child. I enjoyed hiding it from my parents and sneaking it out when they weren't home and playing it. Good memories there. However, the difference between GTA and Pokemon is it's developed. GTA has come from... In case none of you have ever seen GTA 2, it's just like GTA 1. I have to admit, I didn't play GTA 1. But if you ever look at GTA 2 or 1, look at it. And then look at GTA 4. Just look at the difference. First of all, it's third-person view now. Big gameplay mechanic change there. Big shift. Changes a lot of things around. There's an excellent plot. There's some pretty good character development in 4, I must say. I have some issues with it. I won't get into those right now. So I'll just leave it at that. There is good plot, though. There is good character development. Each game, however, has been slowing down in terms of gameplay. From 3 to San Andreas to 4, the gameplay changes have kind of slowed down. It's become kind of locked in. And that's where the plot has kind of taken the forefront, as there's not very many new gameplay mechanics. It's definitely the plot that the changes are relying on in GTA. And it's doing an excellent job of that. There's definitely enough changes from each game to game. Again, even for it to qualify as an actual legitimate new game. The plot is slowing down a bit. It's always been the guy slowly rising up through the ranks and becoming the big guy. But hopefully 5 will change that. We have seen the trailer. that indicates it might be different. It might be the whole idea that this guy's up rich now and something might happen to him. Anyway, I have faith in Rockstar. They will do just fine, though. However, nostalgia isn't always good. In GTA's case, nostalgia has allowed the game to still be to still have those feelings from 2. That sense of goofiness. If you want to be goofy in 4 and simply just run around killing spree, you can do that. However, there's still a lot deeper of an element to it, and it has evolved. However, not all games have done that. Looking at something like Pokemon, and Pokemon's going to be my main example here, primarily because I have a beef with Pokemon. Maybe that's because I get flooded with Pokemon things on my Facebook every day from people, and it's rather frustrating. But I just have a bone to pick with Pokemon, so let me use Pokemon as an example. Please show to me exactly where there have been major changes. I'm not talking about Pokemon Snap here. I'm not talking about the Pikachu game where you run around with Pikachu and friends and you control Pikachu. No, I'm talking about the main Pokemon franchise. Red, blue, gold, silver, black, white. Show me where those games have evolved, where those games have changed. You can't really. The gameplay stays the same. The plot stays the same. You start off as a little kid and you build your way up through the world, and Team Rocket tries to stop you here and there, but finally you beat the Elite Four if they've changed it by now. I haven't played since Gold and Silver. But you go against Elite Four or whatever the big people are in the game. They might have a new continent, and that's always fun. That's always a spruce up, but you can't just rely on the new continent as a way of saying, look, we have a completely new game. And the world nowadays, that would simply be an expansion pack, not a new game. Well, it is a new game, actually, because it's the world, our gaming world has come down to simply that. In the old days of gaming, let me get nostalgic on you for a second. In the old days of gaming, you would actually have more than just a new continent for a new game. You'd have new gameplay mechanics. You'd have a new plot and everything. You'd have new weapons. You'd have new items, new things to do. However, expansion pack would have a new continent, would have some new missions. Look at StarCraft 2, or not StarCraft 2, StarCraft 1. It added on a whole new storyline, a whole new set of missions, and that was only expansion pack. Nowadays, that would qualify as a game. A new game. Totally new game. Anyway, so Pokemon. As I was saying, let us look at the changes we've had in Pokemon over the years with black, white, gold, silver, red, blue, those games. There have been almost no games almost no changes within those games that alter enough to say definitively this is definitely a new game. I know recently, and I think Black and White it was, that they had you can have 2 Pokemon fighting at once or something like that. That's a pretty big change, but it's not big enough. That alone is not big enough to change. A big enough change for a game to qualify as a completely new game, and to qualify as this new amazing thing that you should go on by. So why does Pokemon do so well? If it's the same game again and again, it's because of nostalgia. People look back on Red and Blue, and it's a fun formula. I will grant you that. I enjoyed it very much. Every so often, I will take up that glass of wine with that giant-breasted woman, and I will sip from that glass of wine, and I will enjoy that nostalgia very much. But it's the nostalgia that keeps these games from coming back again and again, these very formulaic ways without any changes. You just throw in a couple tweak here and there, and suddenly you have a new game. Do you know why? Because you don't want to ruin the formula. You don't want to take risks. You don't want to disassociate from your fan base, and that can be understandable in a way. However, you can't do that for too long and not create a new game. You might be earning money, but you're killing yourself intellectually, you're killing yourself creatively, and you're making everyone else stupider. Yeah. And I will get to that in a bit. Why you become stupider when you let this sense of nostalgia overwhelm you to play the new Pokemon game whenever it comes out. To always play the new Pokemon game again and again. Always buy the next one that comes out. I will explain that in a bit. However, quickly checking my notes. I want to actually, that might be it for now. Oh, I would like to mention one thing about Sonic games. Sonic games are, they're bad. The new ones are bad. We're not going to lie. Though you have to admit, at least they're making progress in some way. They're trying things. They should realize by now it's very hard to do a Sonic game outside of Sonic's original formula. And they should just stop at this point, but at least they've tried it. They can say they've tried it. Pokemon games have a certain formula that works, and I honestly cannot see them introducing a new formula into that kind of tile set, that world they have. I'm talking about the colored games like Pokemon Gold, Silver, not all of Pokemon Snap and stuff, but I can't see them creating all new gameplay mechanics in the colored games at all, without changing it dramatically and without just destroying the game altogether. So I can see why these games have not changed. But in that case, you have to say, stop making games. Try something else at least. If it bombs, you'll know you cannot do that. But stop making the same damn game again and again with just a new continent this time. That, by the way, really Pokemon? In Gold and Silver, there just happened to be another continent we totally forgot about over here with new Pokemon. And it has all the same technology as us. It has Poke Centers. It has trainers and gyms. And they even have Nurse Joys over there too. But we just forgot about that continent. It just popped up recently. That was a bit silly. But, as I was saying, just because you want to keep making money does not excuse you from being creatively lazy. And if you cannot create a new game out of the formula you have by putting in new gameplay elements that'll change it too much, then don't even try. Sonic tried, and that's respectable, but they failed, and they should realize that, which they haven't. Anyway, on to why you should actually get out of this nostalgia rut, and why it makes you stupid. Okay. Now let's look at, first of all, what just playing nostalgic games does to you, or does to developers. It tells developers that they can keep making these games. It tells them that they can keep making Zelda games where you keep funding the Master Sword. You keep going through the same dungeons. You keep getting the boomerang and the bombs and the fire arrows. It tells them they can keep making these games. And what it does for you is, because they keep making these games, you're going to keep buying them because you're on a quote-unquote nostalgia trip. I hate that term, but it does work in this circumstance. I really do hate that term. Anyway, it tells them that they can keep making these games, and it then enables you to keep buying those games, which does not let you expand your horizons. And that's why it makes you stupid. Because you keep going out and buying the new Pokemon. You buy the Pokemon for the 3DS, for the Game Boy Advance, for the Game Boy Pocket. I'm going in reverse order here, aren't I? But you keep buying these games. And even these games, Final Fantasy games, Zelda games, whatever games you are very time-consuming, especially Final Fantasy games. Zelda games, not so much. But you keep buying these games. You keep playing them. They're going to take a lot of time. They're going to limit you from playing other games, such as, let's say, Uncharted. Just a random game I picked, Uncharted. There's lots of games coming out that are totally different than the games you're playing, but you're so hooked on the sense of nostalgia that you overlook other games. You have to play the new Pokemon game that comes out every 2-3 years, and that's going to tie up your time from playing things like BioShock, a great game. It's going to tie up you from playing Mass Effect. Maybe not the best ending, but it was an enjoyable game, I must say. From Oblivion, from Fallout 3, which is another good example of how you take nostalgia and turn it into another game, like I explained with GTA. When we look at games, indie games have become big recently, and the past 2 years or so they become big, and having this whole nostalgic thing with Pokemon stops you from experimenting and seeing what these other indie games are about, which are amazing games, might I say. You're trading these games, such as sampling different things, such as playing Braid here, maybe playing Limbo, maybe playing Dear Esther, playing Amnesia, and you're limiting yourself to a very, very narrow genre. Again, I'm going to harp on Pokemon. You're limiting yourself to this just very, very tiny RPG. I wouldn't even call it an RPG, though it does have RPG elements with leveling up your characters, your Pokemon. However, you just get so focused in on 2 or 3 different genres that, and honestly, a lot of these genres, such as Pokemon and Zelda, maybe not Final Fantasy as much, aren't very good at storytelling, honestly. Pokemon, there's no story to it, really. Zelda, it's the same story again and again and again. Final Fantasy, I don't know anything about Final Fantasy games. I know it's very story-driven, so I can't really say much there. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to back off from it, if you will. However, it does limit you from experiencing, I'm going to come out and say it, better games. It limits you from experiencing better games. BioShock, a much better game than Pokemon. BioShock 1, not BioShock 2, mind you. BioShock 1 had some great themes, some great ideas behind it. I think they could have executed it a bit better. Hopefully Infinite will do an amazing job of that. I have much faith in Infinite. But you're a game that can be hailed as very deep and have themes that are comparable to Crime and Punishment is just amazing. And that's something a way I really want the gaming industry to go. And I'm going to do a rant about this later on. But the fact that you're stuck on Pokemon or Zelda and not even looking into that category now is just sad. Now, I know I'm not saying everyone who does this, who just plays Pokemon, or who plays Pokemon a lot, doesn't look into these things. I'm sure there are some people who do. But from my personal experience, everyone who sticks in those genres hardly ever bridges themselves or lets himself explore those other genres, as such as BioShock. Again, I use BioShock as an example a lot, as I think it's an amazing game. So I'm going to continue using it right now. But it makes you stupider. It makes you a lot more sheltered, maybe is the word, sheltered. When I say sheltered, I simply mean not necessarily into homeschooler type sheltered, but just unexposed to other things. And it very much limits your opinion and your credibility when you speak about gaming. And so, therefore, it does make you stupider. It also rules out, I'm going on a tangent here. I'm going a bit off of anyway, that's what these things are for. Going on rants, going on tangents. It also limits your geek credibility, I think, in their overall sense. You can say that you are a Pokemon geek. Um, you know every single Pokemon. Though at some point, um, you can only expand your knowledge so far in the Pokemon realm. And you're limiting yourself to just that one area of geekdom. And I know a lot of us like championing our geekdom around. I sure do. I like pounding my fist around and saying, I play StarCraft all the time. I know how to 15 hatch, 14 pool. I know how to do this or that. I'm very proud of things like that. But I also like to know about other things in my own geeky realm. I like to know about Deus Ex Revolution coming out and being the sequel to a game I played back when I was 10. It gives you more of a credibility within the geek community to at least know about certain things. I had a conversation with a friend who is very much just a Zelda person. She plays Zelda maybe about 50% of the time, 60%, I don't know exactly, but she plays Zelda a lot. She had no idea what the game of the Darkness was. It's not an amazing game, but I think it's an intriguing one. I think some of the mechanics are kind of interesting, and the whole idea behind those mechanics are very, very interesting. And I think, with some work, those type of mechanics could, or ideas behind those mechanics could come to fruition, and could make into a very, very, very well done game. Not saying The Darkness is a bad game, just saying it's not a perfect game. It could become better, though. Again, went off on tangent there. Final statement about nostalgia. Nostalgia's fine. Nostalgia should be enjoyed every once in a while. In fact, it's not optional. You should enjoy nostalgia every once in a while with that busty woman clinging sexily to your leg as she lays down and you have a gun in your hand, very James Bondish. You should do that every once in a while. However, you shouldn't do it too much. You do it too much, you're going to encourage game companies to keep making the same game. You're going to get that sequel rut. Again, nostalgia is not the reason for sequels. It's one of the reasons for sequels. But you're going to get that. It's going to help developers get into that sequel rut and come up with uncreative games and come up with the same thing and totally screw things over for the rest of us who actually like creativity, who like experimenting around with different things. You're going to be stupider, not knowing what else is going on, not seeing other games, not experiencing other games. And this goes with other things too, movies, books. Just reading the same genre again and again and again is not going to broaden your horizons. You're not going to be able to speak very in-depth about certain things, and you're going to look kind of foolish when you go around proclaiming that you yourself read a lot, but you've only read sci-fi. Or you yourself watch a lot of movies, but it's only comedies. Or you yourself play a lot of games, but it's only that damn Pokemon game. Okay. I think my time here is up. Try other games. If you yourself are one of those big Final Fantasy Pokemoners, Zelda-ers, what have you, maybe you should go onto Steam tonight and look up a top-rated indie game. Just play it. I recommend Braid. Limbo's a great game. I recommend Amnesia if you're into some scary things. Just try something out. Just try something. All right. This has been Peter with a thrilling rant, I must say. Have a great day.